Hellraiser 2022. Well, that was fucking horrible. And I don't mean that in the sense that it was horrific and depraved. It wasn't, despite its numerous attempts to do so. For a movie about demons from hell sent to inflict pain upon anyone who plays with the stupid puzzle box, it's particularly uninspired and subdued, and honestly just plain lazy with its use of gratuitous body horror. I'm having a hard time deciding which was worse, this or The Munsters. I do find it mildly amusing that though these two films have staked a claim at opposite ends of the sliding sensory scale of vacuous entertainment, The Munsters being pure inoffensive fluff, and Hellraiser being, or at least intending to be, a film about absolute horror that both share several commonalities. Unlikable and brain-dead characters, terrible pacing, a ridiculous premise made worse by inconsistent in-universe rules, questionable cinematography and visual effects. The list goes on. I guess I can take some medium amount of solace from the fact that I never have to slog through either one of these exceptionally bland slabs of detritus again. Not even the flaying of my soul would tempt me to revisit them. Literally nothing in this movie makes even the slightest amount of sense. Rules? What are rules? Why worry about consistency when you've got such great makeup effects? But we'll get to that in a second. I guess we should begin with the premise. There exists an ancient puzzle box which is operated like a sadistic Rubik's Cube. Whosoever plays with it activates a greater game, the stakes of which are either unfathomable power or eternal damnation. If they manage to find the first configuration without being cut by the little knives that poke out of the box, they are in control of the box. If they are cut by the knives, they summon a group of demons from the Netherworld called Cenobites, who pull them into the Netherworld and torture them by ripping them into 1,000 pieces, and the power of the box is returned to the previous owner. Each murder via the box, under an owner's control, moves the configuration of the box up a tiered series of steps, ending with the final tier, Leviathan, the power configuration. If the owner manages to reach this configuration, they are granted one wish. They may choose any of the tiers as a gift from whatever anonymous dark master godlike thing it is that controls the Netherworld. It's a fairly simple premise, or at least it would be, if this sack of storytelling monkey shit would stick to the rules. Unfortunately, it plays fast and streetwalker loose with even the simplest of concepts in order for the plot to move forward. How do the Cenobites choose who is currently in control of the box? Is it Riley or Roland? How is it that these demons from hell can appear anywhere through interdimensional doorways from their plane of existence, but are stopped by a simple iron gate? How is it that Riley unintentionally activates the box without harm, but each one of her friends somehow manages to accidentally get cut by it and dragged to hell, despite having no desire to even interact with it at all? Should it not be the case, in order to satisfy a viewer's investment in the film, that the victims of demonic ire should be deserving, or at least willing participants in the process of the game itself? Then again, this stinking postule of celluloid defecation seems far more dedicated to mid-grade shock than any believable storytelling. Apparently my bedraggled suspension of disbelief is nothing more than a dog-shit-covered doormat. The world building is that of a leper colony. How and why are the only people that these characters know are those that are central to the plot? Am I really supposed to believe that in a modern age of Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and their probable day jobs, they have no friends who would come to their aid when Riley's brother goes missing? Do they exist in a vacuum? How has no one come searching for Roland for 6 years? Despite being a world-famous millionaire, he's been presumed dead but has actually just been shacked up in his abandoned palatial mansion for 6 years. Imagine if Elon Musk wandered off the grid. People would scour the earth to find him, scrounging Ritz cracker remnants from a dumpster in mere hours. Even the reclusive Howard Hughes was known to be alive, while secluded in his batshit crazy penthouse for a decade, but somehow no one on planet Earth has managed to find the obscenely obvious control panel that opens his secret door to his underground hallway. Well, no one except for these 20-something nincompoops who otherwise have been shown to be incapable of even the most basic usage of critical thinking skills. And oh, by the way, how is the electricity still on in an abandoned building for all that time? Why does he have a ridiculous mechanical apparatus cutting straight through his chest? And how has he managed to stay alive for all this time? The movie won't tell you, and I'm too creatively irritated to try and justify any of it. The characters are paper thin, and completely idiotic to boot. They make the wrong decision at each and every opportunity. The main protagonist, Riley, is a hideous and utterly unlikable airheaded ex-addict who falls off the wagon at the first possible moment, while attempting to steal someone's valuable property to pay her rent, who screams like a coked-up banshee at every single person for trying to help her in any way, and who leads each of her friends directly into harm's way, over and over, to their undeserved deaths. Back to the makeup and visual effects, which by today's standards really aren't all that great. Doug Bradley's original Pinhead is menacing, visually unique, and horrifically iconic. These flesh-hewn heralds of the underworld look more like Slim Goodbody than demonic harbingers of pain. The movie goes nowhere, and it stays there for the duration. There's a sad irony in this half-baked remake insofar as, for all of its attempts at body disfigurement horror and twisted graphic dismemberment, the truly diabolical torture is having to give up 2 hours of your life watching it. Director David Bruckner, I award you no points, and may whatever cringe-loving god you may or may not believe in have mercy on your soul.